Hi, my name's John Badley and welcome to Badly Made. Today I'm going to be turning one of my pieces of art into a 3D model. So the inspiration from this project came way back in the first lockdown last year when I first discovered these little toys called Jankies, and they're these small vinyl art figures that you can collect, and there's loads of different versions. They're really small and they have loads of different artists that do different designs on them, and they bring out new ones all the time. I always knew about these because of artists that I know collaborating with companies like Bear Briggs or Janky to kind of make their own ones, or just to make one-offs, and I thought that'd be something really cool that I'd really like to do. So I looked into it, and most of these companies sell blanks of their models, so just the vinyl with no design on it, and then I kind of realised how much these were, and I thought for the same price I could probably make my own from scratch. So after about 5 minutes of research, I determined that the best place to start would be to make a 3D base model, or like an armature that I could 3D print, and that would be the basis of the whole model. Step 2 was to take some clay and add all of the base details in clay, because this would do two things. One, it would cover up all of the lines and grooves created by the 3D print, and it would also give me the ability to add kind of details that I didn't feel like sculpting on my computer. Step 3 is bringing it all together, putting some 3D printed spikes onto it so that they're all the same shape and size, then a lot of sanding and probably some spray paint to kind of bring it all together and create our first little model. Step 4 is where it gets interesting, because I don't want it to just be clay and plastic. So I have bought some 2-part silicone and some liquid plastic vinyl. So I'm gonna make a mold of the first model and then use that mold to make some vinyl pieces. So the software I'm using here is a software called Fusion 360. This is just a software that I'm happy using. It's what I used mainly at uni. So I start by just doing like a 2D silhouette of the design, and then rounding out and then adding the arms after the fact. So the 3D print, I had a real play with some of the settings to make sure that it was as smooth and as dense as I could make it. I'm also using this really cool material for the supports, which is water soluble plastic, so I don't have to worry about sanding down any bits where supports are attached. So the 3D print came out great. As you can see in the time lapse, the supports looked really messy, but the actual cactus looks really good. There's only a couple bits that would need sanding, just like on the side down here where the supports were, and maybe on the base. That's not looking great, but that doesn't matter too much. Now this is where I really start to get out of my comfort zone. I've never really done much modelling with clay before, but I bought these small ball bearing tools to kind of get the grooves that I wanted to. My initial plan was to kind of cut out little panels and apply them, but this didn't entirely work out, so I ended up just covering it in a thin layer of clay and then carving out of it what I wanted to get out of it. Ultimately, the clay phase of things all really came together when I started sanding it down afterwards. So here you can see what it looks like now I've done the first layer of clay. I mainly did it so you can get these kind of like grooves and just make it look more cohesive. The spikes I put on, I think I'm going to take them off and sand down over all of it to kind of perfect the shape, make it look good, and then we'll come back with more clay, do the hands and the eyes, and then kind of go from there. So this project was going great. I was really happy with how it was going. It was taking a little bit more time than I'd initially planned, but that's fine. I want to make sure that it comes out and looks really good and really professional. But unfortunately, we're going to have to take a bit of a break here because the other day I managed to break my hand. And yes, it's my right hand. It's the hand that I'm doing all of my art with and all of my modelling with. So it's going to slow down a bit. I always plan to split this up into two parts, but it might be a bit more of a gap than I initially thought. But stay tuned. Hopefully it won't be too long before I'm all better and back to it. And yeah, if you have any ideas for stuff I should do, leave it down in the comments. Whilst you're down there, like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. I managed to break my hand.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.